Hey everybody, we are doing another episode of Discovering Native America. Today we are going to be checking out some, what is rumored to be some Sonoran ruins. Now I've heard of this place before. I know it's super secluded and kind of hard to get to. And quite honestly, it's not hard to get to because the trail's fine. The issue is the road to get to the trail is probably one of the roughest roads I've ever been on in my entire life. So, but we made it. We're here a lot later than we thought, but we're here. And we're gonna go check out these ruins. In one of my previous episodes, I had attempted to try to find some Sinagua petroglyphs, and it turned out that that was likely not Sinagua. It looked like more Apache Puebloan petroglyphs, and so I don't really think we really accomplished our mission there. So today we're gonna go to some that are rumored to be that and see what we can find. And like I had mentioned in the previous video, the Sonoran people, they disappeared prior to colonization. So that's not really what happened here. What likely happened was something more along the lines of droughts, sickness, famine, that kind of thing that drove this tribe to leave the Verde Valley and make their way up north. We don't really truly know what happened to the Sonoran people, but it is rumored from oral history from tribes up north, specifically the Hopi tribe, is that they likely moved up there and then integrated and then were kind of adopted and then absorbed and then became part of, the Hopi people. It is one of the more accepted theories out there. So, the best way to track a people truly is through their linguistics. And what we know about the Sinagua people is that they were a pre-Columbian people that likely landed in the Nahuatl language family. This includes a lot of tribes from Mexico and American southwestern tribes such as the Pueblo and the Hopi. And we say that they're pre-Columbian people because of their remains, because of their ruins that they have left behind. They look the most similar and mirror very closely to what we know about pre-Columbian civilizations. There's just a certain flair to them, you know what I mean? So whereas some other tribes here in the Southwest belong to the Athabascan language family, such as the Apache and the Navajo, and did not have the same type of ruins or the same type of living styles that we see with Puebloan and other tribes that are a part of the Nahuatl family. So that's why, again, it's also pretty well accepted that the Hopi people or some other Puebloan tribe had taken them in because they were a massive presence here in the state of Arizona, especially in the Verde Valley area. So I'm excited to see, as you can tell, it is a lot of nothing out here. So I'm going to focus on this hike here a little bit, and then when we get closer or I find it, we'll come back to this. So let's see what we can find. One of the things you always need to be mindful of when you're out here and you're hiking in these areas is a few different things. Always take the proper safety measures. Let someone know where you're going. Make sure you have enough supplies. Always prepare for an overnight stay, even if you don't plan to. And also, be prepared for encounters. This is it's a little bit of a rough area. Again, super isolated. And that is bear scat. It is a good reminder that you are never alone out here. And so I'm going to keep a sharp eye for bear. Encounters in Arizona are very rare, but we do have bears. We do have black bears. Not too big of a threat, but you definitely want to be mindful and just be careful when you're walking around here. So just thought I'd show you guys that because I just so happened to run into it middle of the trail here. So hopefully it was crossing and not going down because I'm going down, but I'll make sure and keep an eye out for it. So yeah, be safe. You also want to make sure you understand animal behavior around whatever time of year it is you're out and about. Right now we are in mid-October. So it's not quite cold enough for things to go into hibernation, such as bears, but they're getting ready for it. So that means that, they're going to be trying to bulk up. They're going to be out and about and eating a lot of food right now, a lot of protein. I'm not trying to over dramatize it, but you just got to be aware, right? Like they're more likely now to try to go after something to eat that's going to give them more sustenance throughout the winter than not. So it's just something to think about, and something I wanted to remind everyone of as they go out and look at some of these sites, or if you're doing what I'm doing. So just a heads up. It never ceases to amaze me. Like you go through these places and you just can't help but feel like the remaining energy and power of the people who lived here before, and how even now, even though they're gone physically, that their spirit and their power remain. And you can feel it when you're coming through here. It's really a special thing. And so, I try to keep that in mind as I come through here and walk in a real respectful way, So, but yeah, I just wanted to share that. As I'm looking, I'm just like seeing it in my mind, and it's really, really a special thing. And so continuing to see bear scat, and then all of a sudden, there it is. That is a bear print. So I've seen 3 piles thus far since the very beginning of the trail. It's going this way though, so hopefully it's okay. But again, you're in their territory, you're in their backyard, so you got to be careful. I'm gonna make a lot of noise as I come down here. So clapping my hands, I'm kicking over rocks every now and again, just in case something's around, it knows and I don't startle anything. And put myself in any type of bad position. So, but this is, again, one of those things, man, you just got to be careful. You got to have that respect and have that awareness about you. So we'll see. If I see anything else, I'll let you guys know. But so far, I think we're all right. And, but anyway, I think we're coming up close. To where this location is supposed to be. Getting out here took a lot longer than I thought, because I'm not expecting the road to be this incredibly rough. So running a little behind. I still got a good portion of daylight left, but I just want to be mindful because I want to be able to make my way out of here and then drive the longer way back than I expected and not in the dark, because that road is rough. So hopefully we come up upon here soon, and we can take a look and pay our respects that way and help preserve the cultures and the people here in Turtle Island for a little bit more for everyone to see and appreciate. And then we will try to make our way back. It's looking like it opens up down here a little bit, so we will see. So, found something else here. That is a mountain lion print. Again, I've been seeing some bear scat all up and down here. I saw another print just like this up there. And from looking, right, so if you look right here, you can see this print, that print, and just the spacing of it, because the one right here, the spacing of it is probably only less than a foot, and in pairs and in a straight line. So a bear doesn't walk like that. They're bigger, they kind of, more gumpy in that sense, in the way that they move because of their width. A mountain lion does not. They are very slim. It looks like it was walking down this trail. It was walking that way. So we are in mountain lion territory as well, which is not a surprise. But another thing to kind of watch out for as we're out here. So life is still here, and it's wonderful and beautiful, albeit a little spooky, but good nonetheless. So, all right. That is a bear print. And surprisingly enough, right above it is a mountain lion. So I got both a bear and a mountain lion taking these trails. So again, you just got to be careful and be aware of your surroundings and what's around. I know you are not the only one out here. So we're gonna keep an eye on that. Those two look like they've been there for a while, so I'm not too worried about it. But it is good just to be mindful and always keep your eyes open when you're out here, So, but I thought it was pretty cool and wanted to show you guys though. All right, back to the ruins. As you walk through here, I just want to say just how incredibly magical and powerful this whole area is. I mean, like there's like this bowl, right? And also you see all these cliffs and all these canyons and all these high points and low points. And if you just take a second and just try to put yourself back, hundreds and thousands of years ago, when there were native people that went all up and down these canyons and gathered their food, and they're up on these mountains, have for lookout points and watching out for enemies and having their summer and winter camps and all kinds of things. When it rained, they watched the water come through here and come down and collect things. And it's so incredibly powerful and moving. And then you're here now, and even though it's quiet, like you can still feel those voices and those echoes. Even though that those days are over, it's still undeniably present. And it's such a beautiful thing, you know. So and I just wanted to share that as I come down here. I just can't help but keep thinking about that. Like, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. And we're so blessed to have these things sitting in our backyards, you know. And really, at the end of the day, that's really what's important. That's why I'm doing this. The reason why I started discovering Native America is because, you know, preservation, history, storytelling, all these things are so important, and we don't realize, as much as we understand and learn about Norse mythology and about Rome and Greece and Egypt and all these places from overseas, we don't have a true understanding of the mythological stories and the creation stories and the power of the people who are sitting literally right here and are still here. And we have to preserve it and document it and show and get people excited about the history of the land and of the people of spaces that they occupy today, native or not. And that's why I'm doing this. That's why it means so much to me, because, you know, these people, these spirits, they're still here. You know what I mean? And like, we have to do our due diligence and enjoy them. And they left these things specifically for us, the future generations, to come and learn and listen and absorb, you know, and it's sitting right here, and it's absolutely incredible. And so, you know, I don't know, it's just, as I'm walking through here, I'm thinking about that. Actually, you know, I'm actually at the place where these ruins are said to be. So it is a super steep climb. Obviously, I probably can't climb that, but I see this ridge right here. There's a connecting point up here. I could probably take that ridge and probably get to where I think these things are at. I'm gonna take it from there, but yeah, so I'm gonna take that ridge and head up there and see what we can find. So this trek up here to get to these things is not easy. Wow. Absolutely incredible. I can see why they built their thing up here, but it is a haul to get up here. FYI. You know, these places were made to be accessible, but they were never always made to be easy. And again, there's a reason for that, but you know, this is just proven, you know, how difficult some of these places can be to find and where to get to. You know, the trail that I'm on right now could have easily been a trail from thousands of years ago. It's always just been used because, you know, you just never know. But you know what? Incredibly strong and powerful people must they have been in order to make this trek to and from wherever it is they needed to go. So I think we're coming up on it here really soon. If my directions are correct, which I have full confidence in, but yeah, this is the whole thing. I'll see you guys when I get there. All right, so we're heading down this trail now. Hopefully it's around the bend there. You can't really see. It's pretty steep, and as you can see, man, can't beat it. And then you have all this right here, so. This looks to be like a good location for a place to stay, so I'm gonna go down there and see what we can find. So we're walking down the trail here, and there's just sheer cliff drop. There's a little bit of space here on the trail, and I mean, you're pretty much okay as long as you stay on the main trail here, but it should be here soon. And there it is. Yeah, there it is. There it is. I see it. Hold on. So let's just make our way through this little narrow pathway here. Right. And wow, look at that. You can just see it. and how, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. All right. I think the way up there is down and then up. I think. So I think we have to go that way and then up that way, if I'm not mistaken. I'm not sure if the camera is doing its due diligence showing exactly just how narrow and rocky this place is. It's like pretty rugged, but we're almost there. Oh my gosh, look at that. So, okay. Oh, wow, incredible. Okay, so we went ahead and put our offerings down and asked permission to be here in a good way. And so, but what we're looking at right here, right? This is a dwelling, obviously. You're gonna have these stones are everywhere. These stones are all over the valley. They're super flat. They're super easy to stack. You see people use them as landmarks all the time. And you see them stacked sometimes. And when you see them stacked, a lot of the times what you're seeing, there's a lot of military activity through this valley during the Apache Wars and Indian Wars of this area. And so you see that, and you might say, oh, that's probably a ruin when you see these things stacked up in dwelling style designs throughout the valley. But most of those are military. And I've actually made that mistake before. Shout out to M for correcting me on that one and for getting me coordinates here. But what really makes the difference when you look at these is this. This right here, this clay, this concrete that they had created using clay and mud and other types of natural organic material here in the valley to make this, to hold it stand. Here it is thousands of years later, and it's still standing. If you go in here, if you were to take a look in there, you see that it's still standing even after all these years. And same thing right here, right? So even though this is held up by wood, it still stands. That's how incredibly strong this was and how deep the knowledge was of how to work with these materials for the nations of the people who lived here before. So let's go ahead and circle around here. I'm actually seeing all this for the first time right along with you guys. So I actually haven't looked through here all the way just yet. So looks like you can climb up here. And here we go. Here's another dwelling. You can go in here. Wow. Wow. Look at that. Absolutely stunning. It is nice. It is cool in here. They have like a little place that goes back that way. So there's actually the edge of a wall right here. And then it kind of goes back there a little bit. But here we go, look at this, wood, all of this is still standing. All of this above here is wood. The way that they treat it and how they work with these things was just absolutely incredible. And this is a Pueblo sign house, and this is 100% Sonoran, without a shadow of a doubt. This is Sonoran. They were up and down this valley. They're some of the most incredible architects and builders in this area. And like I said, you see this a lot with a lot of Puebloan tribes. This is, you see the wood beams sticking out here. That is very indicative of Puebloan villages all across the Southwest and to New Mexico, Arizona, and California. And you'll see that they all basically have this very similar style here. It's very, very easy to tell. And that's clearly what this is here. So definitely Sonoran, or the Sinagua people. So we're gonna go down here and look at a little bit more here. A little bit more. Very small openings too here, by the way. My guess is, again, it's just for ventilation and everything. Keep the heat and keep the cool in and keep the warm in and the cold out during the winter months. And so we're gonna check out this one right here and try to see what we can find in there. All right, so I'm in here, and then look at this. Absolutely incredible. I'm blown away. Again, you can see more of that insulation, that concrete that they had made in these places. And same thing, there's these poles, there's these beams that are still standing after all these years. Okay. I don't don't want to be too invasive here, so I'm gonna go ahead and step out of here a little bit. So another thing I want to show you guys around here is this looks like it was another type of, they used it maybe as a dwelling. It's actually a cave. It's a little cave. It doesn't go that far back. I can actually see the back of it. Maybe it goes back, I don't know, 30 feet. So it's not that big, but very well protected, as you can see. So I'm gonna go ahead and take a look in here. So as you're in here, right? One, it is really, really cold in here. Super cold. But here, I want to show you guys something. All this that you see, all this black up here, is from smoke. Seeing that now, we can conclude that this was somewhere where they lit a fire. So it could have been the light out there, just to illuminate. Could have been an area where they smoked food. So they could have, I'm seeing shelves kind of things back there. So there could have been a place for them to lay some food in here, or whatever, to smoke it, preserve it, right? It could have been used for 1,000 different reasons. And so I'm just sitting here in the doorway. I'm not going to go that far in. You have to be very respectful culturally of these places, and you don't want to disturb in case this was something that was more ceremonial in purpose. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to stay right here by the door and then make my way out. But I just wanted to show you guys the fire, the burn marks all over this place, just from years and years and years of fire building in here. So it's pretty special. So, all right, let's go. All right, guys. Well, again, I don't want to stay too long. I'm running out of daylight here. You see the shadows of the mountain that I am on the side of. And so I think it's time for me to go. But, you know, what an amazing place. And these things are, again, all over the place down here. And I encourage each and every one of you to truly take a moment, learn something, open a book, talk to a historian, go to your local historical society, and most importantly, go talk to your local tribal elders, your local tribal historians, to tell you and teach you about things, because these are stories. This is history, and it's sitting right in your backyard. And it takes all of us to preserve it. It's going to take all of us to protect it. And that's the reason why I'm doing this, again, is just to protect and tell stories and inspire people to go out there, discover, learn, protect, and preserve. And so with that said, I'm going to go. But thank you all so much, and stay tuned for the next episode coming up soon. And be sure to like and subscribe, guys. Have a good day.